Yo guys and dolls, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're old school, you know what we're about by now. So in this episode we are going to discuss if you are a guitar noob, what you're going to do.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
So, just straight off the bat, you've decided that you want to become a guitar god or goddess, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm down with this, but am I an electric guitar? Am I an acoustic guitar? Am I a semi-hollow body? Am I an electroacoustic? Am I a flying V? Am I a single coil? Am I a humbucker? Am I a tremolo system? Or am I a fixed bridge? And that's beyond, am I 7 strings? Am I 6 strings? What's my favourite colour? What political viewpoints do I have? Time today to go to the toilet. Is beans on toast still my favourite meal? Stuff like that. So we're going to just look at some of the things that we've got going on and your choices that are available to you. So we are going to initially look at, are you an electric or an acoustic? So let's look at the pros and cons. Acoustic, I can buy one. I can play it and tune it up. I can play it and I don't need any amplification. Yep, don't need any amplification at all. So I can literally strap it on my back, a loaded 6 string. I can get on my moped and I can go to my friend's house and I can play all night if that's what I intend to do. With an electric guitar, I can make it sound super cool by adding effects pedals and amplifiers. They come in a myriad plethora cornucopia of shapes and colours. And they're just more usable. Yep, because they've got all this stuff going on. However, you've got to carry an amp. And you've got to have effects pedals. And you've got to kind of, they're a little bit heavier. And there's all these other things that come along with owning an electric guitar. Whereas with an acoustic guitar, you can't really make it sound like AC/DC. You can't really load it into amps without all of these kind of problems with feedback and stuff like that. So what do you want? Do you want something that you can just pick up and play instantly? I'd go with an acoustic guitar. If you want something that's going to inspire you and maybe move along with you in your progression as a guitar god, goddess, maybe look at buying an electric guitar. Another thing that will help with that is, what bands do you like? If you like Ralph McTell or you like Ed Sheeran, Jesus Wept, go with an acoustic guitar because that's going to be the flavour of the stuff that you like. However, if you are a metalhead and you're into kind of like Napalm Death or you're into Van Halen, maybe an acoustic guitar is not the one for you. Maybe you want to stick with your electric guitar. So now it comes to, we've decided that we want to go acoustic, and that is pretty much it. You're done. Get your acoustic, put it on your back, have a laugh. However, we've now decided to go electric. So now we've got an electric hollow body, an electric solid body, trem system, or a vibrato system, or a fixed bridge. What are we going to do? So let me tell you straight away, vibrato systems for a beginner are going to be a bit of a nightmare for you. There's not very many styles or techniques that require you to own one, unless you're into like Steve Vai and more kind of eclectic players. Stick with a fixed bridge. It's just the easiest way, plus they're easier to tune. In relation to hollow, semi-hollow body or an electric, hollow bodies tend to have a nicer, warmer, clean tone because they've got that acoustic sensibility to them. However, they do introduce feedback if you have an amplifier, and they can be a little bit unruly to deal with. So again, for the purpose of just being a badass ASAP, I'd go for a solid body. Unless, of course, you're completely blown away by certain players who definitely use semi-hollows, and then what you want to do is maybe get one of them and curtail your experience to that. Absolutely brilliant. Next one, pickups. So you might be thinking, well, what's a single coil? What does SSH mean? What is a humbucker? What the shit is hum? What's a booker? So basically, a single coil pickup is a very clean representation of the sound of your guitar. So whether that be full-bodied or woody or tony, that's what's the single coil will elaborate on that and make it sound very acoustic-y. However, single coil pickups tend to be quite hummy, which means if you introduce any type of distortion or gain, and if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. In my next Glover's Beginner Guide, we're going to discuss effects and sounds, but distortion tends to be rock and metal. Clean tends to be kind of like the Shadows, early Beatles stuff. Clean sound stuff. Most jazz stuff. REM use a lot of clean as well. Stuff like that, bands like that. However, introduce distortion to a single coil, you can get a bit hummy, but they sound cleaner. They sound more like the instrument you're playing. You hear the woods, you hear the strings more, you hear the tone of the instrument more. However, humbuckers do exactly what they say on the tin. They buck the hum. So whatever hum you've got has now been taken out. Now, if you're looking at expensive guitars, single coils do have humbucking circuitry. But if you just want a guitar and you're starting where you mean to go on, don't worry about single coils so much. Get some humbuckers because they're just going to allow you to play more with less noise. And that's about it. So humbuckers don't sound as clean, sound a little bit more saturated, a little bit more chunky, a bit heavier sounding, but they still sound good enough to, rather than having a hissy, hummy nightmare. So single coils, maybe not so much. Humbuckers, maybe yes, depending on whether you want to be that heavy doom guy or you want to be that light REM guy. So the next things we're going to look at are what you want a guitar for. So for me, it's inspiration. I want to be inspired by a guitar, so I want it to look pretty. I want it to sound great. I want it to make me want to play guitar. So for that particular reason, I'm going to give you 3 of my recommendations for an electric guitar and 2 of my recommendations for an acoustic guitar that are around about 100 to 150 pounds. So in my electric guitar thing, I would go for either the Jackson Dinky range, which is between 100 and 150 pounds. Jackson are great guitars. They might look a little bit too metal, but they are very, very good. Ibanez Gio, obviously, because Ibanez make exceptional guitars. So the Ibanez Gio range is really, really good, very colourful, and it could get the job done for you. If you're looking at spending a little bit more, I would recommend the Ibanez AZ range, which is their new low-budget, high-power range of guitars. They do have single coils in there, but they're very, very good. I would say that's a great starting point. Or another one, which I'm raving about at the minute, is a company called Harley Benton, and they do a range of really, really cheap, really high-quality guitars. That would be my recommendation for those. In relation to acoustics, I would recommend the Tanglewood range of guitars. Have a look at Tanglewood, they're a great company. And I would look at the cheaper range of the Ibanez range as well. But also Yamaha are very, very cool. So what I will do is I will put a link in the description below for all of the guitars of that particular range. And I'm sure you'll have seen them flash up around the screen as I've been mentioning them as well. But the comments in the section below are what they are all about. So I hope that helped. I hope you're thinking to yourself, right, okay, well now I know what I want to be. Do I want to be an acoustic? Do I want to be an electric? Am I a clean guy? Am I a dirty guy or gal? Do I want single coil clarity and cut, or do I want humbucker, distortion, saturation, and metal? And we can kind of initially, just where you guys are at the minute, let's bring it down to that. Am I into Ed Sheeran? Do I love AC/DC? Or do I love metal bands? Am I into Metallica or Megadeth? If that's the case, that will give you what you want to get, really. Acoustic, single coil and humbucker guitar for the kind of more classic rocky stuff. Like Fender Strats and stuff like that, or do you want to go big time and get some humbuckers and get some metal in your life? And that's about it, really. So I hope this has helped your first foray into buying an electric guitar or buying a guitar of any particular ilk. Remember, if it's pretty and you like the look of it and it's inspiring you to play, that is better than any quality you can get. That's what we're looking for. In the next episode of the Glover's Beginner Guide to Getting a Guitar, we're going to be looking at what good guitars feel like. Okay, so keep checking back with the channel and see how this helps out. If you're an experienced guy and you've been with me forever, you don't need to know any of this, but I tell you what, we're a community, guys. So if you've got any help or any advice for new beginners, please chuck them in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel and you don't know anything about this and you're a beginner, please think about liking and subscribing this video. I will give you more content. I'll turn my phone off next time as well. That will happen. So remember, guys, keep coming back for more. I am beginner focused, and we'll get you guys the right guitar, the right sound, the right amp, the right situation, and hopefully the right lessons as well. So keep coming back, and I will see you guys in the next one. Glover's Guide to Beginner Guitar Greatness. See you soon.